Yeah, whatever. If you like to do 10, that's fine. Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
I'll leave it up to you. I got plenty of time, so you can do it. We got, yeah, anyway, I think we're starting. All right. Hi, everybody. I think we're starting. I'm Danny Deshi.
Yeah,
We're
whatever. If
starting.
you like to do 10, that's fine.
Oh, I think we're on. Okay,
Whatever.
cool.
I'll leave it up to you.
Okay, you heard that thing. Hi, everybody. Hi, I'm Danny Deshi. Welcome to funniest female comedians. Funny female comedians here, and we're here every once a month, every first Monday of the month. Thanks for joining us. And excuse me for a moment while I do take care of the technical stuff. And also excuse me if I'm not very good with these controls, the Zoom controls. So please forgive me if I accidentally turn off the power grid in your neighborhood again. I mean, okay, I think we're on here, and let me do this thing here. And your host will be Elaine Witt, who I'll introduce in a moment. And also, forgive me, please forgive me if yeah, the internet services, I got cheap internet service, so it was okay at first, but it's been kind of slow, ever since the hamster broke its hip. So yeah, so I got the cheap service there. Cool. Let's see what else. Yeah, a little bit about myself. I'm co-hosting the show with co-producing the show with Elaine Witt, that you'll meet in a moment. And let's see. And yeah, we do this funny female physicians. Yeah, like I said, every Monday, every first Monday. I think I got all the all the controls here ready to go. Okay, just a little bit about myself. I'm Danny Dechi, and I host shows and live shows in San Francisco, and also a couple other Zoom shows. And yeah, and then welcome to come out here. Funny female physicians, something. Let's see, something. Oh yeah, something. The funny doctor thing I have is yeah, I haven't been to the doctor in a while, because of pandemic and stuff. And so I went for my checkup. I finally can go. So I went for my checkup, and the doctor noticed I was a little nervous, but he told me, don't worry, I'm your friend. And I tell him, hey, with friends like you, who needs enemas? Yeah, so, yeah, so that's my joke. Hey, let's see. Thanks. Let's see. That's pretty much it. Do a couple other things. Oh, okay. Another person's coming in, and just to watch. So, okay. Alrighty. We'll start the show. Is there anything else I can say? Oh, yeah. By the way, this show is also sponsored by Salesforce. Yeah, Salesforce building right here in San Francisco is the tallest building west of the Mississippi, and Salesforce also has the biggest conventions of the year. But nobody knows what they do. Salesforce. Yeah, and also this show is sponsored by Whole Sandwiches. Yeah, unlike those other guys, Whole Sandwiches never have bullet holes. Yeah, yep. And Whole Sandwiches, you get the whole sandwich. Yeah, not available in Texas though. So, cool. I guess that's one. Okay, I'll do one for the kids. Hey, why do the stores at the airports always smell so clean? Because they're duty free. Yeah. Yeah. My jokes that kids like. All right. Without further ado, um, let me introduce your host, who's been on performed all over New York, and she's always also been on the TV show Good Timing on Peacock, and it's still there. You can check it out. It's free. It's really a fun and interesting show there. And yeah, so let's give it up, everybody, for Elaine Witt. Yay!
Thank you, Danny, for playing hooky at your job. I hope your boss isn't watching, because I know you're supposed to be at work now. Thanks for letting me take over your Zoom and bugging you in the middle of the night. 9 a.m. my time is 6 a.m. Danny's time, but who cares when it comes to production? I just wake him up. But seriously, I'm not that bad. I wanted to talk about medical. This is a women's doctor show, and let's welcome the doctors in our audience and in our show today. Let's hear it for Lynette and Jade, our real physicians tonight. And of course, Snow White of the Brooklyn is here, and Danny, but these two in particular are doctors. And I wanted to tell you my experience. I thought maybe I'd like to be a psychotherapist or a modern day life coach. So what happens? They put you on Zoom and they watch you to see if you'd be a good listener. So I'm staring there at the person like this, and I'm thinking, what would a good listener look like? Would a good listener look like this, or this, or this, or this? How should I look on Zoom if I'm a really good listener so I'll pass the test? Well, I was so involved with looking how to be a good listener and listening how I looked being a good listener that I forgot to listen to the guy, and I didn't hear anything he had to say whatsoever about his problems, and I failed. And that joke is brought to you by my friend Sora Rosenthal. She wrote that joke, and I'm dedicating the joke to her because she wrote it. Let's hear it for Sora.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sora. That's my medical part of my thing. Well, I want to talk about my doctor. I call him Dr. Slander because I tell this story and he could sue me, but his name is Dr. Weiner, and he's the best endocrinologist in Long Island in Northwell Health. He's a big macha, as they say. Jade, you know what that is, a macha? You know, maybe, yeah, of course. So do you, Lynette and Linda and Danny. So, and Snow White. So, and Alex. So anyway, so Dr. Slander sees I wear Beatles shirts a lot. This is a John Yoko shirt, but I wear Beatles shirts, and I came in his office to get a shot of Prolia because he helps me walk, little things like that. He helps my bones. So I come in and he goes, that Ringo concert last night, I mean, he's over 80, he should give it up. And I'm thinking, could someone else have an opinion about the Beatles? After all, I went to England. I stood on the steps of Abbey Road all summer in 1968. I walked around Central Park with John and Paul. I'm the biggest Beatle fan in the world, but Dr. Slander knows more than me. So then he goes, come to think of it, I went to see Paul too. What does he need the money for? He's 80 years old. Well, Dr. Slander, what do you need the money for? You're so rich. So anyway, I was polite somewhat. And then I look up at his wall. He has awards, certificates, the best of Northwell Health. And I'm thinking, where's help, Dr. Slander? Where's Hard Day's Night? I'm just saying, if you're going to be that critical of the Beatles, I don't see, well, you are helping me walk. So then this is the ultimate. I said, I very rarely brag, but here's a picture on my phone, on my Facebook, of John Lennon singing to me on the steps of Abbey Road. And you know what Dr. Slander said? And this is true. He really said this. He went, you bring John Lennon into this office, then I'll be impressed. That's how arrogant this guy is. I swear, Lynette, I swear that's what he said. So you know what I said? Yeah, on his blinkety blink yellow blinkety submarine, Dr. Slander. So the happy part of the story is every time he has like a trainee, an apprentice, what do you call them?
President.
Yeah. I always say, Dr. Weiner, could I tell them this story? So I said, I hope you don't sue me. Well, when I get done telling the story, that's when he usually says, I think I will sue you. So I want him to come to the show and I'll do the bit there. That's my part of the show. And I would love to bring up our first doctor. She paid her dues. She'll tell you more about it, I hope. She lives in Arizona. And I won't even tell you what kind of doctor she is, so she could tell you herself. She has years and years and decades of experience. Let's hear it for Lynette Charity.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Helene, and all the other people that are on this Zoom meeting. So if you didn't notice, I'm a Black female anesthesiologist. And sometimes, usually when I walk into a patient's room, I'm mistaken for a nurse or a janitor. Okay. So as I said, I'm an anesthesiologist, and I am the Rodney Dangerfield of medicine. And anybody on this call who doesn't know who that is, Google him. But I get no respect. I walk into a patient's room and I go, hi, I'm Dr. Charity. Where's my real doctor? I said, I'm a real doctor. I'm your anesthesiologist. Well, anesthesia, where's my real doctor? My surgeon. I go, oh, your surgeon. Well, he'll be here soon as he sobers up. So, respect aside, I love being an anesthesiologist. I love my patients. When they're asleep, awake patients are annoying. Annoying. Too much talky. Doc, I have one more question. No, you don't. Q&A is over, because here's a syringe full of shut the fuck up and go to sleep. That's what I say. All right. I had this guy come into the operating room and he's going on and on and on about taxidermy. First, I skin the animal, and then I use a cleansing solution to clean the skin. And then I, what's happening? I had to shut him up. I did feel kind of bad because he was the surgeon, but hey, it is what it is. So becoming an anesthesiologist was hard. 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, 4 years of residency, 12 years a slave. Being an anesthesiologist is harder. It's harder. People Google me all the time. I give too much anesthesia. I give not enough anesthesia. I give the drug that killed Michael Jackson. Yeah, I killed the king of pop. No, I didn't. I didn't do it. I wasn't there. In fact, no anesthesiologist was there. That was the problem. So people read about me on WebMD, they read articles and they go, I read on WebMD that spinal anesthesia is the safest. So that's what I want. Sir, you're having a colonoscopy. No. So here's the problem. Surgeons have the nice offices with the pictures on the wall and all their degrees, and they get to see their patients in that environment. Back in the day, I used to be able to see patients at least the night before because they came into the hospital. Now, what happens to me is that I get to see them maybe 5 minutes before I'm supposed to give them anesthesia, and I'm in a broom closet, dressed in scrubs. Not very nice. So then a nurse comes in and she goes, please take everything off and put on this lovely gown that opens in the back. Doesn't even come with a robe. And then I take them into the operating room. Cold, sterile operating room. Then I put them on a cold, sterile operating room table. And then I stick cold, sterile EKG leads on them. And then I strap them down. What? What is he doing? Now, this is not a scene or an excerpt from 50 Shades of Grey. I want you to know that. This is not. This is what I do. And then I anesthetize them. And then what happens? They wake up. They don't know who I am or what I did. It's almost like it's a scene from Law and Order SVU. So, officer, I had clothes on, and then a gown was put on me, and my mascara was smeared, and my throat was sore, and I didn't get a look at him. He wore a mask. Maybe it was a female. I don't know. So you see the struggle that I have with my profession, and I get no respect. But let me just tell you, and I'll finish with this, is that, there are some silver linings to all of this. I use propofol, not a spinal, to do colonoscopies and upper endoscopies, what I like to refer to as butts and guts, because that's what I do. Yeah. And I go in to a procedure room, patients rolled in, and I go, hi, I'm Dr. Charity, I'm your anesthesiologist. Wait, what? Is this a joke? Is this a joke? didn't I see you at the comedy club the other night? Are you a real doctor? I'm a real doctor. And to prove it, here's a syringe full of shut the fuck up and go to sleep. Back to Elaine.
Wow, that's so funny. Wow. Two doses of shut the F up. Whoever could have thought they would be cursing on the show. Anyway.
Oh, you didn't tell me
thank you
I
so
couldn't.
much.
It's just one bad word.
Well, just said twice, that's all. But that's great, perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway, our next comic is am I allowed to say retired? Some people don't like to say retired. Anyway, she's an ophthalmologist. She has a coincidence with me because I knew her husband and I didn't know that they were married to each other. So lucky, I could just say I knew her husband, and that's another story for another day. And she's very funny. She comes from the Bay Area with her husband, and her son lives in Brooklyn. So I got her to come visit me. Yay. Her name is Jade, and Jade Wong's gonna perform for you now. Let's hear it for Jade.
Hey, Jade.
Everybody. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Helene. I just want to clarify that Helene knew my husband, but not in the biblical sense.
I introduced her to my brother, so that, you know.
So I'm a proud Chinese American. I want to do my set today in Chinese. Yi san li kum ki. No, I'm not going to do that to you because I don't speak Chinese. But I'd like to do a joke in Spanish with a Chinese punchline. ¿Por qué el pollo cruza la calle? Porque ahí están los egg rolls.
Yeah.
So to translate, why did the chicken cross the road? Because that's where the egg rolls.
Yeah.
Growing up, I walked on sidewalks like this. I was disabled by superstition.
Yeah.
I believe the other kids, when they say, don't step on a crack, you know the rest. Or don't break your mother's back, right? When a kid hears crazy stuff like that, a grown set them straight. I said, Mom, the other kids say I can't step on cracks. She said, well, that makes sense. And never say the word that begins with D. That's bad luck. Oh, yeah, I could say Dick. He was my uncle. So the word I had to avoid was death. I even had to tiptoe around the dead turtle in our hallway for months. Yeah, the only family member who could actually stomach the dead turtle was our Chihuahua. I said, Mom, can we get another pet? Because the turtle, ate its final egg roll. My mom said, well, that makes sense. But this time, pick lucky Chinese zodiac animal, not turtle. Maybe pig or tiger or dragon. Yeah. My mom had a big issue with skin. With color, not of skin, of fabric. Yeah. I wore the skimpy summer top and she said, don't wear that. People will talk. It's white. My mom made me follow her custom of never wearing white except to a funeral. I could marry a white guy, just not in a white dress.
no,
So for my wedding, I wore a dress that was blush colored, which made some people think I wasn't a virgin.
no,
Way off the mark. I was 3 months pregnant. So for my messy multi-course Chinese wedding banquet, I changed from the blush colored dress into a form-fitting traditional dress that was day glow red. Kind of bloody, right? But no, for Chinese, wearing red means prosperity and a lower dry cleaning bill. Yeah. So when my dad passed away, when he ate his final egg roll, my mom wanted to hire the traditional Chinese person who cries at a funeral. It's a cultural thing, a professional wailer. But it was hard because we lived in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
What showed up was this guy from Canada with a harpoon. Where's the whale, eh?
no,
In Chinese culture, 8 is a very lucky number. A lot of Chinese families would love to have 8 children. We even have a word for it, Catholic envy. 4 is an unlucky number. My Chinese family has 4 children. My dad was preoccupied with which one of us to disown. I don't like unlucky Chinese 4, but I also don't like 13. I bought a dozen bagels. The guy throws in a 13th for free, a baker's dozen. I gave him a fortune cookie with a death threat. So growing up with all those superstitions, I did the obvious thing. I became a doctor. I kind of owed it to my mom because I did step on that one sidewalk crack. Oops. So I mostly kept superstition out of my ophthalmology practice. But on the schedule, I scratched out the appointment for patient 13. But I added another patient 8. I would channel my inner Chinese ancestor. Oh, your test result, not so good. Your vision going downhill. But you are lucky patient 8. Be sure at front desk to enjoy lucky candy. Put your payment in red envelope and pick up your white cane. So, hey, afterwards, you can tell me anything. Just don't tell me I'm killing it.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Back to you, Helene.
Hey, Jade Wong, how funny is that?
Yeah.
Give it up for Jade. We have people watching on YouTube and Danny's Facebook, and they'll watch later. And I'll have to explain to my students there, Lynette, why there's cursing in Miss Witt's show. Lucky I'm retired already. PTA president, they go to Bible school, the whole thing. Who's embarrassed?
All
Not me.
right.
I'm gone from that school. Anyway, back to me. So I wanted to say I was married to a Chinese guy and he was in the Bay Area too. Maybe your families knew each other, the Wangs, the Lees, the Lopez's, kidding. But, Jade, we had 3 New Years. We had, first you have the American New Year, fireworks. Then you have Chinese New Year, fireworks. But then comes the Jewish New Year. No fireworks, unless you eat my Aunt Esther's gefilte fish with a lot of horseradish, then you have fireworks. Okay, well, you probably see that expression, the rhinoceros, the rhinoceros in the room. Well, you see, we have an unusual creature here, and this wonderful doctor, woman, female creature came to us, begged to be in the show, showed me the credentials, and I had to put the Snow White in the show. So let's hear it for Ed Smythe, aka Snow White from the Brooklyn.
Oh,
Thank you, Colleen. I'm so proud to be here with all of my other colleagues from the medical profession. And I'm here representing my story of how I ended up opening the Brooklyn Medical Arts Group in Bedford Stuyvesant. Well, it all started years and years ago. I was at my own little practice on the Upper West Side until I had a shared office with other medical practitioners. We had a nurse and we had a receptionist whose job it was to reject everybody's insurance claims. Then one day I got threatened by the evil queen who came from Queens, who threatened to smash my head in. So I ran far, far away till I went to the woods in Brooklyn, where I found a little house in the middle of the woods that was all falling down and ruining. So I started to clean up the house, but
Please mute.
so then I got help from all the little woodland animals who helped me clean the house. There was the deer and the squirrels and the little bunny rabbits and the gophers and the little boys. The little boys were very helpful in hanging up the sheets while we swept and cleaned and sang a little tra-la-la song about cleaning up the little house. Then I got tuckered out and went to bed. And when I woke up, all of a sudden I heard these little midgets coming over the hill. They came in from the number 7 train, I believe. They were a mixed group. They were led by Doc, who apparently was the family physician for the other 6 little dudes. They were a bunch of crazy bunch. There was Dopey, who was currently addicted to methadone, and we would send him out with Narcom so that he wouldn't have a medical emergency. Oh, you can't hear me? Oh,
I can hear you.
Is that any better? I think I got my microphone on. Well, anyway, so that's the story of Dopey. And then there was Sneezy, who had some cyanitis issues. So we did some plastic surgery on his nose. Then there was Happy, who was a well-adjusted individual, but had some family problems which I cannot divulge due to medical confidence. Then there was Grumpy, who was Grumpy got his name because he had a tremendous problem of bursitis on his left knee from working in the coal mines for 30 decades. And then finally there was Sleepy, who had some sleep apnea problems, so we fit him with a medical device and some physical therapy. Then we had a good time living together in the little house, and we frolicked and laughed and enjoyed ourselves for months and months on end. Then one day, the evil queen dressed up to look really baggy, sort of like Miana Helms, and she gave me an apple that had carcinogens and insecticides on it and made me go to sleep. Then
I fell asleep until one day this handsome prince, who looked like Leonardo DiCaprio, came by and gave me a kiss, and we decided that we would elope and run away to Staten Island, where I could blend in with other people who talk and look like me. That's the story of the Snow White and then I finally came back and started my own medical practice in Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Medical Arts Building. That's my story, and I'm proud of it. The end. Thank you for inviting me to this lovely event. The end. I'm done. I'm gonna go get a beer now, so you can stop.
Elaine? Elaine, you're mute, I think.
This has happened to her before. Her thing just gets muted for some reason, even though
Anything else to
there
tell
she
us
goes.
there, Doctor?
Are you there, Elaine?
Yeah, could you hear me?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you now. Yep.
Had headsets on to hear Ed. So let's hear it for Ed Smythe, the Brooklyn Medical Arts guy, Snow White. And Snow White, do you have anything else? Or Ed Smythe, do you have anything else you want to talk about today?
No. Currently I will be doing a postdoctorate on dwarfism to help all my little housemates.
Okay, let's hear it for Ed Smythe. Most people don't use the real name probably. Now we are going to move along to our headliner. She is out in Las Vegas. She played all over Portland, Seattle, Spokane. I'm adding cities. She's going to be in Chicago, New York for a month. She's going to meet Jade and Lynette, someday Danny and Alex, hopefully in New York. She is a military veteran, so is Lynette, and she puts on military shows. How many did you put on already, Linda?
Only 47.
47.
Wow.
She has interviewed over 1,007 about 1,000.
1010.
Sorry, I missed 3. Comedians and people in the industry for the most part, and she could talk about those, some of them someday, but let's hear it for Linda Marcus Smith.
Hi, everybody. So, oh gosh, Ed Smythe, how do you follow someone like him? My voice is so boring compared to his or hers or theirs, or we need a doctor to figure this out. Okay. I just want to confess that I am not a doctor. I'm not apologizing. I'm just saying I'm not a doctor, and there's a good reason why. I just found out last night I was doing the show. I had no time. I couldn't go can't even buy a doctor's certificate. That's fast. Oh my gosh. You know, I come from the 1950s, and the good news is we played doctor a lot. Does that count?
Yeah.
A little bit about me before I go into all my wonderful doctor stories no one's ever heard before. I've got a ton of them. I'm Linda Marcus Smith. I go by 3 names, Jade, and I know everybody thinks when someone goes by 3 names, it's because they're a serial killer. And that's not why. I'm going by 3 names to turn around history, because back in time, people with 3 names were oh so bad. John Wilkes Booth, killer. John Wayne Gacy, killer. Adolf Blanken Hitler. Yeah, I didn't cuss, Lynette. I'm better than you. How do we move to the top? How to move to the top of the Helene Witt food chain? Yeah, 3 names. You know, Adolf Blanken Hitler. I'm part Jewish, And Hitler being on the bad list doesn't bother me like John Wilkes Booth does. Well, because Booth, he was an actor and he got famous with one headshot before the internet, Lynette. It's not supposed to happen. Well, I have my very first doctor story in my life to tell you. It was when I was born. Allegedly, I was born on a certain day and a certain time in 1900 and the doctor was so ridiculous. I couldn't believe it. How many of you have to share your birthdays with other people in school? You find somebody else same birthday. I have had to share my birthday since the day I was born because of a doctor. I have a twin brother. I was born at 10:30 at night, and the doctor couldn't hold him in for another hour and a half just for me. It's ridiculous. But I forgave it, you know, because I'm all about forgiveness. I don't know if you can tell, but we have to forgive everything. Otherwise, we have a list like this of things that have gone wrong in our life that we're holding on to. You know, we can write them down because we're never going to forget them, but we need to forgive them. I've been forgiven so much stuff, you have no idea. And it's easy to forgive when you stay busy. Yep. I stay busy. You know how? By aging. It's taken over. I've been so busy aging and forgiving. Oh my gosh. You know, in 72 years, you can have a lot of baggage that can weigh you down. Well, I forgave it. And now I'm kind of childlike. People go, you kind of childlike and I don't know, airheady, and you look so young. I had a barista tell me that I look so young. And I was like, well, I forgave everything that happened in my life, all this stuff. I forgave it all. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, well, you kind of look like you're aging backwards. I'm like, oh, aging backwards. Now you just ruined the compliment. You remind me I'm aging. Like, I don't know that already. Thanks a lot. Another barista told me, what's going wrong with my video? I look ridiculous.
Yeah.
1 minute.
She's having a seizure. Come on. You gotta save her. Oh, she's back. We fix it.
Another time, a barista told me, you look amazeballs. Amazeballs. All I've been doing is forgiving people for hurting me for 72 years. How can I look amazeballs? He goes, no, you look amazeballs. I'm like, what am I going to do with amazeballs? I'm not going to Google it. Lynette, they've taught us on those investigative TV shows that they check your hard drive. It has balls in it. They're going to check my hard drive right after I kill my third husband. I'm not doing nothing with amazeballs. My favorite compliment from a barista was being told I look like Marilyn. Isn't that special, Jade? I Googled it. Yeah, exactly. If she was lucky enough to be 72 years old, I look way hotter. Don't I?
So much better.
This looks like resting bee face. Yeah. Okay, well, I've forgiven a lot of things, but I have a lot of medical things to tell you about because I have so much in common with doctors. Well, from the other side of the fence, like being a patient. Like, for instance, I have a daughter. She's like 47 years old and she can't talk. Yeah, she has this condition called, I hate my mother. Yeah, but it could be worse. I'm forgiving it. It could be worse because she can talk. She just doesn't choose to talk to me. So isn't that great news? Yeah. Yeah. I went to the doctor's emergency once because, well, that's my social life. And I went into the, like the 5 or 10 people that are medical professions want to know why you're there at emergency. And by the time you get your doctor, you're so sick of that question. So you get a little sarcastic. So he finally is like the 9th or 10th person to talk to me. And he says, so why are you here tonight? And I said, well, actually, I'm looking for a cute doctor. And he goes, a cute doctor? And I go, yeah, like a cute doctor, not acute, not here for anything acute. And he goes, oh, and he looks around at the nurses and he goes, and I go, so do you know when the doctor will be in? He didn't think it was funny either. Okay. When I was a kid, I was minding my own business. I know you find it hard to believe, but we had a mynah bird. And the mynah bird would say naughty words. I hope Helene doesn't hear me right now. He would say cuss words if you would make the mynah bird startled. And I love to make the mynah bird. The bird could get away with cuss words. I couldn't. And so I had a dog and I wanted my dog to jump at the mynah bird so the mynah bird would cuss. But when I stomped my leg to get the dog to do something to make the bird say a dirty word, my leg fell apart on me. A bone popped out. I had extra tibia growing in my right leg about this long. And thank God I stomped my leg at home, not when I was like crossing the road in front of a car. And so I had to go to the hospital and get this bone taken out. And so I didn't know when I was growing up, I didn't know my mother really loved me. I didn't get that until after she was gone. But I remember now she came into my room and gave me a teddy bear, a brown teddy bear. And I called it Sawbones because I was having a bone sod. In the middle of the night, a nurse, not a doctor, a nurse came in and was stealing my candy from me. One piece at a time. Every day I'd wake up, there's less candy there. And my mother went to bat for me and got the lady fired. So I now, as I look back through the eyes of forgiveness, I see that my mother loved me because of doctors and nurses. Isn't that great? Once I had a hysterectomy. Yeah, I know. It's a deep subject in a lot of ways. I was there getting a hysterectomy, and afterward, for years, I was in pain. So I tell my doctor, Jade, I'm in pain right where your leg and your hip come together. And the doctor, with a straight face, says, oh, that's because during your hysterectomy, we had to cut your uterus into pieces. We had to have your legs pinned behind your ears for 4.5 hours. I'm like, there's no video footage of this, is there? But I forgave all these problems. I'm the better person. I hold the world's record for being in the ambulance the most amount of time. 36 times for allergic reactions to food, medicine. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. I'm allergic to everything except ambulances and really cute EMTs. Found that out. Yeah. I had the VA hospital pull all my teeth out in 2 visits because my teeth were so yellow and crooked. They leaned so far to the left that I almost had to change political parties.
Yeah.
But I chose to just have the teeth removed. And I'm not allergic to money, Alex. I'm only part Jewish, and no, I love money.
Oh, okay. I was worried for a second.
I'm not allergic
Whole
to
list
money.
of allergies like that.
Yeah. So back to me. So so thank you for the question. I don't know why I choose to read it. So yeah, so I had all my teeth pulled, but for years I'm in dental pain. And I'm telling them, and I get a copy of my going to the doctor, and it says that I'm constantly complaining. That's the term that doctors use when you tell them a problem that you're complaining. I was constantly complaining that I had dental pain after I had no teeth. Who does that? Me. That's what I. So they finally do this really intense, unique thing. They sent me to an outside dentist, and they did an X-ray. They did an X-ray finally after like 10 years. It went on for like 10 years. And they did this X-ray and found out when they pulled my teeth, they left metal wires in my gums. Some kind of, so when I'm chewing or talking, I'm pressing down on metal that's here. And that's why I'm in pain, even though I don't have teeth. So that was awfully fun to hear that I have metal in my, I was in the military like Lynette, and I never got injured in the military. And now I have metal in my mouth. It doesn't qualify as shrapnel, and I can't get a Purple Heart. Bogus. I want some kind of award. Yeah, I once went to the hospital just to get free acetaminophen. Yeah, I don't doctor shop. I go to one doctor for all this trouble. And I asked the doctor, you know, I don't really want to buy acetaminophen. Can you just write me a script for it? No problem. Go down to the pharmacy and pick it up. I go in the pharmacy, and Lynette and I know it's always full of men. So I go in there, place is jam-packed. And I put in my ticket, my name pops up, and I go up there, and they go, here you go, here's your acetaminophen. And then the lady says to me that terrible question. She says, do you want a consult? I'm like, don't talk down to me. It's just acetaminophen. I'm thinking, I was like, oh no, it's just acetaminophen. I don't need a consult. And then I got to thinking, wait a minute, I think I want a consult. So this guy comes waddling out. I'm not saying he was obese. He came waddling out and at a slow government pace. And he looks at me from way far away because I think he was scared. And he says, can I help you? He's way back here. So I'm holding up the bottle of acetaminophen I just got. And I said, yeah, lobby's full of men. I said, yeah, how much of this can you take in a day? And he said, oh, it's okay. I'm fine. It's just a job. And he turns around and leaves. That was my consult. He thought I wondered how many stupid patients could he handle in a day. So I had to Google how can I overdose on acetaminophen? I didn't want to overdose. That's the point. Yeah. So I've been through a lot in life between my daughter that can't talk to me and some doctors. But I forgave it all because that's how you stay young. That's right. But the hardest thing to forgive, I'm telling you, was that one barista that said that I looked just like Marilyn. Yeah. Because, I mean, it was raining. I ducked in for a quick cup of coffee. And he goes, Linda, today you look just like Marilyn. And I said, oh, she's beautiful. She was an icon. I remember her in something like that. He goes, no, you look like it's raining and your makeup is dripping across your face, Linda. You look like Manson, Marilyn Manson. I don't think I look like Marilyn. Like I told you, I think I look way hotter. Plus, I'm alive. But anyway. I don't think I look at all like Marilyn. That's Marilyn. This is me. I get it. See the difference? But I think I look like if Marilyn had had a sister, and the sister, God bless her soul, had to pop out of a cake and sing happy birthday, Helene, to Ted Kennedy. I don't know how much time I have left, but I've got more. So let me see here. How much more time do I have, Miss Elaine Witt?
3 minutes 21, but who's counting?
So let me say this in 3 minutes or less. I started comedy when I was really, really young, at age 63. Yeah, with no weight, because I forgave everything. I wrote it all down because I remember it, but I forgave it. I started comedy young. And I got less respect in my hometown than Rodney Dangerfield ever complained about. I'd go on stage to do my comedy, and all the comics would leave on a smoke break. Yeah, they didn't even smoke. Stupid, I know, but I forgave it. I started comedy when I was really, really young, and I couldn't get the comics to pay attention to me. They didn't think I had anything interesting. Thought I was horrible. So, that's a terrible place to be when they don't want to listen to you. So I came up with an idea. I know it's kind of childlike. I started doing my set and doing sit-ups while I'm doing my set. Makes perfect sense. So I'm doing my sit-ups and telling jokes, and it worked. Now they're listening. Then I thought, well, I like to dumpster dive and get stuff out of like Bed Bath & Beyond and Joanne Fabrics. And I was bringing gifts that I'd find in the Dipsy dumpsters to the comedians. And at the end of my set, if you paid attention, I'd have a trivia question and you could win something cool that I got out of a Dipsy dumpster. Finally, they would listen to me. Totally true. I wish it wasn't. But the whole time I was doing sit-ups, Jade, I know that they really only wanted me to do one curl up. Curl up and die already. So I left because I'm a boomer, and when the going gets tough, we just get going. I can't tell you how many places I've left and exited when it gets tough. I went to New York. And have you seen this Empire State Building thing? Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. And Trump didn't build it. It's so beautiful. And when I saw it, it started singing to me that song. If you can make it here, you'll make. And then I heard a voice loud and clear, right to me. Get out of the bike lane, you crazy witch with a B, Elaine Witt, because we don't cuss here. Well, I'm a boomer. I had to leave, so I went to Vegas. Guess where my career is finally taken off? Vegas. I got here just in time for COVID. There was no sin nowhere. No hookers. No gamblers. None of them slick trading cards smashed upon the cement. How was I going to get a slip and fall accident and pay rent now? Well, thank God for my Las Vegas bus stop comedy career tour. I see the light. Because this little old lady was sad. Had the antidote. I'm not even a doctor. I had the antidote. And I said a joke and she said she loved it. And I said, you can keep it. And she said, keep your day job. I hadn't had a day job since 1996. Turns out I was a procrastinator. Who'd have thought? But now I have a day job. I'm a Las Vegas streetwalker with a Fitbit. Turning heads. Yeah, that's my game. But seriously, you're lucky you can't see beneath my waist. I just lifted up my skirt. At night, I know it's a visual you'll never get out of your head. At night, I'm a healer. But my day job is to go for walks. At night, well, on my free time, I do comedy for the military and the vets. And through comedy and helping them come up with jokes, I help heal them from their traumas. So I'm kind of practicing medicine without a license and getting away with it. My goal is to do no harm, just like real doctors. Real doctors, I salute you. I'm Linda Marcus Smith.
Fabulous, Linda. Great set. Yay, let's hear it for Linda Marcus Smith.
Yeah.
I gave her the headlining spot last minute and she rose to the occasion 3 hours early. You know, we get our time zones mixed up, but there was Linda right there. So let's hear it for Linda and all the comics. And Alex joined us, and Snow White is here again, on again, off again. Danny, do you have time to do some time now? Is your boss looking?
Okay, I'll do a little bit of, just, do a little bit earlier. Sure. Okay, yeah, thanks, Helene, for hosting the show, and thanks for all the comedians for performing. That was a hilarious show, very funny show. Thanks. Thank you so much, everybody. Wow. Okay, let's see a little bit about myself. I don't know how old I am because my parents lost my birth certificate when they put me in the basket in the river. But I do remember the name of the river. It was Niagara Falls. So, yeah. Sometimes I get so lonely for a hug. Yeah, I just want a hug. So I go to a restaurant and I pretend that I'm choking. Yeah, little things. Oh, throughout world history, there have been so many book burnings that you would think that Amazon Books can come out with a better name than Kindle and Kindle Fire, don't you think? Yep. Okay, I'm also a musician, so I'll end it off with a song. Let's see, what should I play? Oh, okay, I'll play Putting on the Ritz. Okay, all right. Okay, number 2 pencil. Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, the same pencil I used to fail the SAT test. So, yeah. I guess because it wasn't sharpened. Okay, anyway. So all right, that's my time. And thank you, Elaine, and all the comedians, Lynette Charity and Jade Wong, Linda Marcus Smith headlining, and of course, Snow White of the Brooklyn Medical Arts, our special. That's really something. And again, thanks, Linda Marcus Smith, our headliner. And we're here every first Monday of the month. That's all months, all 12 of them. And there we go. I was thinking maybe saying something weird, but it's about a month. Except January or something. No, but that's not funny. So anyway, all right. Thanks everybody, and we'll catch you next week. And remember, the show is always on. It's on YouTube and on Facebook. On Facebook timelines of myself and all the comedians. The show, you can watch it right there. And so, okay, all right, everybody. Thanks again. See you. We'll see you on Zoom, and then every time, and all the other shows soon.